Hello all, welcome you back to Editorial Analysis and Answer Writing Program Day 37. Today our topic is Vertical Fiscal Imbalance. So if you are new to this program, you can watch the introductory video in the playlist so that you can make best use of the program. Some of you may wonder why we chose this topic, that is Vertical Fiscal Imbalance. We chose this topic because there was an editorial on the Hindu newspaper in the last month about this topic, that is Vertical Fiscal Imbalance. So now we will see what does this mean. Vertical fiscal imbalance. We will divide it into two parts, fiscal imbalance and vertical. First we will see what is fiscal imbalance. Fiscal imbalance in the sense, consider the state or country, it has a large responsibility to implement various schemes to develop its people. At the same time, it has a limited revenue rising potential. So there is an imbalance. There is a large need to implement many schemes, but its revenue potential is very small. This imbalance, you can name it as fiscal imbalance. So connecting it with vertical, in India, we have different levels, like union level is there and state level is there. Union level has more revenue raising potential, but the state level has limited revenue raising potential. Also, the state government, state level has more and more responsibilities to implement many schemes. So this explains, when we connect these both aspects, that is vertical and fiscal imbalance, we get the definition for fiscal imbalance. Now let us see what are the causes for this vertical fiscal imbalance. The first important cause here is the uneven taxing powers between the state and the union. In the union government, they have more taxing potential, taxing powers, like income tax is there, corporate tax is there. But the state governments have limited taxing capability. At the same time, the responsibility of state government is also very high. They have to implement many schemes for the socio-economic development, like health, education and all. So this is the first main cause, that is there is a more taxing potential of the central government. Next comes the GST. GST has further reduced, that is goods and services tax, has further reduced the ability of the state government to collect taxes. Many indirect taxes which were under state government has been brought into GST, which is more or less under the control of the central government. So this is another cause. Third cause is, as we saw earlier, the socio-economic development needs of the state is increasing day by day. To achieve the goals of socio-economic development, states have to invest more and more. To meet these needs, ability of the state government is needed. So as they need more funds, vertical fiscal imbalance also increases. Next comes limited borrowing potential of the state government. The state governments have to depend on the central government to increase their borrowing limits. So this also limits the ability of the state government to further invest in the socio-economic development. So as we saw, these are the different causes which lead to vertical fiscal imbalance between the union and the state levels. Now we will see what are the impacts of this vertical fiscal imbalance. The first and foremost impact is dependence on the central government. State government has to depend on central government for every aspect related to finance. To increase their borrowing limit, they have to depend on the central government. To get more GST compensation, they have to depend on the central government. This creates hurdles in the day-to-day functioning of the state government. Next comes suboptimal quality of the services provided by the state government. As the abilities of state government is limited, their responsibility is wide, they have to allot resources to more and more fields, which will reduce the quality as there will not be sufficient funds for all the sectors. So this is the second impact. Then we will see how we will overcome these impacts and reduce this vertical fiscal imbalance. In that, we have different reforms in different sectors. First is reforms through Finance Commission. Finance Commission allots tax revenue of the central government to the states. So if a reform is brought into it to increase the share of the state governments, it can be more helpful. So that is the first reform needed. Then comes GST. GST reforms has to be taken in so that the state governments have more say in getting tax revenues from the GST. Also, GST compensation should be released by the central government in time, so that the state government will have proper fund resources. So this is the second solution we can see. The third solution we need here is FRBM Act should be reformed. Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act is this limits the borrowing limits for the central state government. So this particular act should be reformed so that the state government will be able to borrow more to address its socio-economic needs. Apart from this, the amount of untied funds can also be increased. There is something called tied funds and untied funds. In the tied funds, the central government will allot funds to state government only when the targets given by the central government are met. So this also limits the ability of the state government, as they had to move forward and reach the target to get the funds. They will not get the funds to implement new schemes for reaching the targets. So the amount of tied funds should be reduced, and the amount of untied funds to the state governments should be increased. So these are all the measures which can improve this situation of vertical fiscal imbalance. Now, to conclude, implementing these measures can improve the situation of vertical fiscal imbalance, and it also ensures that the country, which with taking all the states together, is going in the path of socio-economic development without any hurdles. That is all about vertical fiscal imbalance today. Now, let us see the question for the day. Explain the concept of vertical fiscal imbalance and analyze its impacts on India's fiscal federalism. So this question, it is a 15-mark question. You should answer it in 250 words. Read the question 2-3 times to create a rough structure in your mind. Then give proper subheadings, give a proper introduction, give a proper conclusion, and upload the answers. Thank you so much. We will see in upcoming sections. Thank you.